because it showed over here in Zoom. I looked at it and it said that I was not recording that. I'm so sorry. I'm rushed. I'm trying to do this. The church sermon official board. Went to the depot downtown to pet the reindeer. I really want to participate since I am serving here in Muskogee. I'm really excited about doing that and being in my own city. Let's see. So it says share. I'm going to make sure that I am sharing. Alrighty. All right. So we're going to start this over. And once again, y'all, I'm so sorry. Go ahead and delete and come back to it if you want, or pick up about halfway through. We were at the very end, so it's fine, and it'll be a better presentation when I upload this on Zoom as well. Once again, this is no fillers, no fluff, just the steps in the application process. With that in mind, I do want everybody to know that yesterday on the 9th, I just happened to be looking. I like to stay updated on the Muskogee Creek Freedmen Indian Band on their website to see any updates of what's going on, because both of them did go to Okmulgee to complete their packet. I saw on the Tulsa Times that was in October. I just found this out yesterday, so I do apologize that the Muskogee Attorney General did file that appeal, and the Muskogee Supreme Court did issue a stay in this because there is a pending litigation on this. And what that means is that the Citizenship Board is to not accept or process any citizenship application while this is pending. When I went the week of Thanksgiving, they did not say, I'm sorry, we are not accepting these applications because of this pending litigation. Now that you know that, if you want to ask and see if they say something, maybe they knew it and just said, well, if they don't ask, we're not going to tell them. We're just going to take it. I can't answer that. I have not called them. Like I said, this is the weekend. I just found out that yesterday, Saturday. So if you want to call, knowing that, I do strongly encourage you to please go ahead and begin getting your packet, get everything together, save this recording so when you are ready, you will have all of your data. If you are going in person, that is the citizenship office. You Google that and you can find the directions. It is in Okmulgee on that main street. If you're mailing that in, here is the P.O. Box 580 in Okmulgee. There is a satellite site in Jinx. There may be other Muskogee Nation areas that you are aware of. Google that or research it someplace that's closest to you. Now what we're going to do now, and we're just going through this checklist, and I'm going to run through this. If I sound rushed and hurried, I apologize, because I started this 15 minutes ago and at the very end looked over on the Zoom and saw that I did not have the video or the recording going. So I do apologize for that. So I had to start this all over. All right. So I will slow down as if I haven't done this before. Here is the checklist. So you'll have it, and you can stop the YouTube video when you're ready. You'll have that. You must complete that application. You must be 18 years or older. If you're under 18, then there are parts that your parent needs to provide their identification to do this on your behalf. The next bullet here is the applicant, parent, or the legal guardian who signs this. You must enclose a color copy of your state ID, driver's license, and a few pages and slides down, we will have what is acceptable original forms of identification. Submit the original certified copy of the applicant's certified full-image birth certificate. You order that from your state's Bureau of Vital Statistics. With COVID, a lot of facilities no longer accept walk-ins. They found that it's a smoother process to use some contractors. Vital Check is one that Texas, Oklahoma, and I believe Kansas uses, because Oklahoma, you cannot go online, walk in to just order your birth certificate. So read up on that. But the information is there even on the Oklahoma Vital Statistics. Make sure you're clicking the right link, .oklahoma.gov. There are a lot of them for advertisement, and it may not be the official Bureau of Vital Records. So make sure you are reading that hyperlink to make sure that you have the correct one. Next one, it says that it's a birth certificate death record of the non-enrolled ancestry whom you are tracing. So that would be your mother or your father. If that person is living, yes, you will need for them to type. Me and my mother, we just typed it on a Word document. I, mother, consent to release my birth certificate to Monica, my daughter, for records, genealogy, other. She signed it, dated. We put it on her scanner with her driver's license, social security card, and her ID, passport, anything with a photo. We put it all on there, and I took that for her, and they did accept that. Veterans, social security card, copy of your social security card. And it must show your birth name or your current married legal name on that. And there's be a page there that tells you what are acceptable original forms of identification. Veterans, there may be special citizenship cards available for you with this approval. It may have something special, so make sure you provide your DD 214. A spouse or dependent, if you've got that military ID card, provide that to them as well. Any extra identification you have is just a boost. Some of them is redundant, but I'd rather for you to have something and don't need it than to get there and need something and you don't have it. There's a name change. Women, due to marriage or divorce, provide the original record of that. So go to your safety deposit box or wherever you have that and get that. Adoptions, I don't believe I'm adopted, so I did not research that. There is information in here, or please call if you or a family member or a dependent, if this applies to them. They will need that probably petition and the original final decree on that and the birth certificate after that adoption, but research that. If you got your passport, provide that. It cannot be more than 3 months expired. If you don't have a passport, fine. I had one, but I also went to CVS because they take recognized and acceptable passport photos. Walgreens, CVS, post office, and UPS. It's a 4x6 card. They'll have you stand against the wall with a digital camera. They'll take it, upload it, and it's the 4x6 thing with 4 little 2-inch size pictures. You take that when you go, or you mail that when you mail your packet, or if that person is taking this on your behalf. So if you do not have a passport, fine. Go. It's $2 or $3 at CVS. Go get that and have that available. Information about passports, it's here, travel.state.gov, even if you do need yours renewed. No Polaroids, no your professional credential photographs. Those are not acceptable. It needs to be the passport photo. The applicant, you sign here, and it says, make sure your signature doesn't touch the lines. I don't know what that meant, but I made sure when I signed it, I stayed within the lines. And right here, it gives you information on this page is what is a passport photo. CVS, Walgreens, post office, and UPS do have the passport photos, and you can get that right there and take it, pay your $2 or $3 and take that, and they'll accept that. There's a page in here that gives more instructions. It's there. Now, the actual application is right here. It is just one page with only about 5 or 6 questions that you know now without even looking or going to your wallet or your briefcase. You know your name. If maiden, it asks for that. Your date of birth, you know your social security number. Your gender, male or female. If you were adopted, yes or no. Your marital status, you check one of these. If you're a veteran, you check yes on that. If you're 18 or older, yes, provide your social security number. Make sure it's visible on the citizenship card. You will check yes on that. Your home number, optional for mobile, optional for email. I just went on and provided that. They will not accept a P.O. box. So it has here, they will need your physical address, city, state, zip code, and county. If it differs from the mailing address, you provide that as well. Address, same as physical, yes or no, and you will provide that, city, state, zip, and county. Now, this very last one is other Indian blood. Elliott family, you will check no. We are not seeking dual citizenship. We are not trying to go under Choctaw or Chickasha because of Jack Bailey, who is citizen Chickasha / Choctaw. You will check no. We're not acknowledging anybody else but going through Edna Mae Elliott. Then you will sign this saying that, yes, I affirm here that this information is valid to the best of my abilities on that. Next slide, which is slide number 8. This is the lineage chart. And on this chart that is right here, this is where because now you were trying to link and prove that you are a descendant of your very first ancestor that is on that DAS roll. So you would put your name, or no, next you would have your mother or your father. You would put their social security number, their date of birth. My mother didn't have a tribe or roll number. I left that blank. I'm not going through the descendant of my father. I left that blank. If you are going through your father to get to your grandmother to get to Edna, then you would select father. It reads kind of wonky because after here, I didn't need my paternal grandmother. I needed my maternal grandmother, which would be Eliza, and it didn't give me an option for my great grandmother because I needed to get to Edna Mae Elliott. So it has right in the middle. For additional space, you handwrite on the back. If you want to be great, and I'll give you a thumbs up now for typing that on there. I'm proud of you. I'll give you a slap on the back now. I did mine and my mother's and other people who I went with. I observed them taking their packets. They just hand wrote it on the back because one of them is a relative of one of the plaintiffs in that suit. And they told their cousin, you handwrite it on the back. And they accepted that. So just read that carefully on that. So I'm going to go through this. For example, I put my mother. Then I put my maternal grandmother, which would be Eliza May. I didn't need anything on the Bailey side. So I wrote on the back my maternal great grandmother. And then that's the person that I put there her tribal roll number. I believe it is number 3116 and Eliza's 3117. I may have that reverse, but I do have that in this slide. And the email that I sent that Word document in, maybe somewhere between October 1st and the 15th, it has their roll numbers on there. That's the only person that we need. We need to stop at Edna Mae Elliott. We do not have to go to Eliza Jane, JP, or Patsy. It's the first person you reach to. Other people, there may be 2 or 3. If you're a younger person, let's say if I had a child, then my child would need to go one more step. They would need themselves, me if I was the mother. Then they would need Collada, the grandmother. Then they would need Eliza May, great-grandmother. Then they would need great-great-grandmother Edna Mae. So the farther removed back, you may have a couple of more lines you will have to write in to get to Edna Mae. The next slide here just gives more information. No dual enrollment. We are not seeking dual citizenship. You will sign that form. I affirm with the Muskogee Nation that I'm not a citizenship of any other tribe. We're not going under Jack. We're not going Choctaw, Seminole, Chickasha. You will sign that on there, your name, that I am only applying for Muskogee Nation and I will not enroll as a citizen anyplace else. The next slide is the consent to release information. This is you giving Muskogee Nation consent that if they need to confirm that these are valid records and they aren't copies or scanned images, this is you giving consent if they need to contact the Bureau of Vital Statistics to verify the death record or the birth certificate. That's all, but this is saying on that. You will sign that and date it. If you're going in person, you want to wait when you get there to sign that information, that's fine. You can do that then. I took information for another relative. They signed it and I took it on their behalf. Once again, they scan everything right there. You get your originals back. If you go in person, you get your originals back. If you're dropping out the packet for a relative, you get their originals back. If you are mailing it, they will mail your originals back. Just want you to be clear about that. Knowing that, please make a copy of your entire packet. That way, if another family member needs assistance or something in here, you never know with AI, the how they generate those programs. It might be something in here offensive. They may take this off of YouTube. You never know. Make your copy so you will have that, and you can pass it, pay it forward, and help the next person by just showing it or reading off of your copy that you have. The next page here is that form that shows you what are original forms of identification. This is slide 11. If you don't have these standalone forms, if you don't have a state ID card, a driver's license, a conceal and carry, if you don't have a passport that is less than 3 months expired, out-of-state driver's license ID, no more than 3 months expired. If you don't have your military ID card, or you're the spouse, you have your military ID card, then it has here secondary forms that they will take. So this middle column has here, what else will they accept? If you're going to school and you have a valid college ID or something with a picture, they accept that. If you're a federal employee, those gun permits, an Oklahoma employee, hunting license, those are acceptable. Your voter ID card, Social Security card, health insurance card, because they had to get all of that before you were approved to get those cards. So Muskogee Nation is saying, yes, they will accept those as secondary. Then, if you don't have these, here are some other things that you can use. Your Oklahoma medical marijuana adult patient card, or the minor who has a patient card. That's an acceptable form. Now, see, that was a real cough that time. Okay. Your divorce decree. You have that original record here. Anything else? These are titles, health insurance policies, auto insurance, Department of Transportation health cards, etc., etc. These are other documents, your DD-214, that they will accept if you don't have the first ones. Take everything. If you're not sure what you need, read this first. I'm telling you everything that you need. I didn't have a military card, anything. What I took: my driver's license, Social Security card, my little passport card that fits in the wallet. I did take my passport. I also went to CVS and had the passport photos. Those are all the photo identifications that I took. There's other marriage license, divorce decrees, medical card. I didn't make a copy for them and take that at that time. Cough, cough. This is the form, yes. You will sign and notarize before a notary. If you are mailing it, you'll have that notarized and mail that. If someone is taking this packet for you, you will get this notarized for them to deliver for you. If you are going in person to a Mulgy, Jinx, or any other substations that they have, or campuses that they will take your citizenship packet, you can sign it there. You won't have to get your form notarized if you're going in person. They have a notary in the back room, and they will do that for you. So the true original form of identification. And I hate podcasts, and they put this piece of paper up and show it. It makes me so mad. Like, really? You think I can really see that? But I did want to do that just so you would have that. Okay, and I know all of this is bootlegged and rigged up. I'm learning this as we go. So forgive me and bear with me. Once again, a sample of that dual enrollment. I, your name, do confirm that I have no dual enrollment, and I will not apply for citizenship with any other nation now that I have applied through Muskogee Creek Nation. The next page, 2 pages, will be an affidavit of maternity or an affidavit of paternity. I have neither. I presume, I'm just making a presumption here, that if maybe your parent is not on your birth certificate, or your mother, maybe your father, but that person is, you know that this person will fill this out. I, the father, full name, father's date of birth, my father, place of birth. I acknowledge that I am the biological father of you, this person, this child. No adoption is taking place. I understand that if I submit something false, all rights and privileges of Muskogee citizenship will be irrevocably removed. The biological father signs that. If there's a roll number, you put your roll number. You must sign and date that form in front of the notary public. Once again, they have 2 forms in here: affidavit of maternity with an M, affidavit of paternity with a P for the father. So that is information that is in there. I have a couple of citations here. I encourage everyone in the Elliott family that can get this. Our relatives, the Islands, the Sales, JP, Patsy, our 4 times great grandmother, Sarah Davis, who had the tavern up on Honor Heights, where Davis and the Union settled and had the freedmen office where they would go get their monthly checks. Her tavern was there. She had the best tavern, like the very first and original Airbnb. Your ancestor had that, the best in Indian Territory. She is also found on blackhistory.org, or I'll send that link. I forgot that black anymore. But they have a blurb about our ancestor Sarah Davis, who is the mother of Julia and Elizabeth, and that's where we descend from. Then Julia with Daniel, then Julia and the child JP by Daniel McIntosh. From JP and Patsy comes Eliza May and Martha. From them comes Edna May, and that's where the cousin in Ohio, Xenophon, that is, I guess, the first cousins right there. And then comes Edna May through that, then Elliot's, and then here is me and you. So that is our line of ancestry on that, and it's beautiful. Let's see, just some thank yous again from quotes from Demario Solomon. Why are we doing this? We're not doing this just to have a Muskogee Nation tag on the back of our car. Actually, it is our birthright. We see this as a milestone and something that is really significant right now. But when I was there taking my packet, I went with some other cousins. They did their application process. I went for my mother. There were other people in line. They were just getting updates just like we do when we update a social security card or update our driver's license. It wasn't no fanfare, wasn't no selfies. It wasn't anything monumental. And I pray that 25, 30, 50 years, 100 years from now, our own descendants can just make these changes without even a second thought, knowing that this is a birthright and this is something that we are entitled to. And they do that the same way they update a driver's license or their social security card. So boom and fist bump for perseverance for Rhonda, Ron, Jeffrey Kennedy, Demario Solomon, Simmons, Sharon Lindsay, Rhonda Grayson, all of you who have filed this petition, have gone to D.C., spoken before the Senate on this, spoken to the Bureau of Indian Affairs, and Internal Affairs. You have gone to the Department of Interior, spending your money and your time and effort to do this so that we can benefit from this. So I salute you and I thank you. May God continue to bless you all for your diligence, even with this appeal right now. I thank God for you that you have now given us this opportunity, along with Marilyn Van for the Freedman 5 tribe. Please participate in that. Go to the websites and read up on it. Thank Marilyn Van, who is a Cherokee freedman and is a great advocate and does a lot of public relations to getting this information and our heritage and information out. Jake did provide a copy of the book by Ralston Raji, and that's on one of the slides too. She had a book release that came out last month. I encourage you, if you're able to do that with Gary Zeller, get that one just to know your history. If you're not interested, have that available for somebody that will get that genealogy bug in your family and your lineage. Last thing here, I've got the link here to the Muskogee Creek Indian Freedmen Band, their website, one word, 1866 Creek Freedmen, M-E-N, not M-A-N, 1866 creekfreedmen.com. Read up, donate. Everybody has a Giving Tuesday. Any social platform that you're on now, everybody's blasting Giving Tuesday, the HBCUs, and I commend it, and do that. While you're doing that, remember your heritage. Remember the effort that Ron, Demario, Rhonda, Sharon, and Marilyn are doing for you to have this opportunity. Help them and do that for them if you would, and I would greatly appreciate that. And also I have that Freedman 5 tribes with an S.com, and I am going to join that. There is another historical something Freedman. Oklahoma does not have a chapter, and it had a Adobe packet on there if you're interested in having a, whatever you call those, a group or something in your state to do that. Oklahoma doesn't have one. So I might have a Zoom. We get a president, a first vice. We'll get a vice president, a secretary, recorder, treasurer. Just for the record, we'll have that we want to acknowledge that we want to do this for the state of Oklahoma, and we will do this and get information out to have that available. Haven't done that yet. The first of the year, I will hit the ground running with that, get that paperwork in so that Oklahoma can be represented on that other program. And we can Zoom and do things. We don't have to come locally. We can have a quarterly meeting or whatever to be a part of that and put that information, our heritage, put that information out for descendants of freedmen. Praise the Lord. What is our goal and aim? I read this at the beginning last time, but now I'm just doing it at the end. Start this with the end in mind. You're going to be successful. You're going to get this done. I believe it and I trust the process. Our goal here is to obtain citizenship into the Muskogee Nation, which is our birthright. It's outlined in the Creek Treaty of 1866, Article 2. Yes, these steps might be tedious. This packet here for Muskogee Nation, it's free, no cost. The time comes with you taking off work or getting someone to take off work, to take your paperwork, driving there, the gas and the mileage, wear and tear on your car, the fees for ordering these things online if you don't have them, or a cousin that you can borrow their originals and take. Be sure and give their originals back if you're going to do the buddy system on that. Those are the things that you may incur $80 to $100. I want you to be aware of that. Some states is $12 for a birth certificate. Some is $22. Some have no online fee. Some may have $3, $5. Read the information on there before you click submit. Slow down, read everything carefully. I was trying to order my birth certificate on my phone, toggling over, looking at Twitter or something, and I misplaced who was my grandmother and who was my great-grandmother. Thankfully, they didn't reject that, and the woman had called me. You know how we do. I don't know that area code coming up on my, it wasn't blocked, but I didn't know the number, but I went on and picked up. Glad I did. It was a Texas vital statistic just called and said, are you sure that you have this for Eliza May? So I had to correct that for Polly, and then so I thanked her so much. So I'm telling you, slow down. Most of the errors will come because we're so excited that we're doing this and we rush through it. No need to rush. You can put pause on this and come back to it. Take a breather, go eat your dinner, your lunch, come back and finish it. And my beloved, we're doing this because we are going to finish what our family started. We're about to wrap it up here. Just a reminder for you who don't have a roll number, you don't know how to identify that. What you are trying to do is trace and prove that you have a direct linkage to the very first ancestor on that 1906 Dawes roll. From 1895 to 1906 was that window open. Everybody had to go to the courthouse like a deposition, and they had to give that legal record, I am who, and they'd ask them questions. How you know you're a Creek? Have you been getting the Dunn roll? And they say, I don't know what that is. I get the $12 check. I get the $4 check. So the officers that were there on the commission, the committee, they knew what that was. Said, okay, they've got the Dunn roll number. And you'll see on those citizenship cards, those freedmen cards, it has a roll number. It also had Dunn roll number 622. It has that information. So you're going to yourself, your parent, your grandparent, your great-grandparent, and a great-great-grandparent, if necessary, to prove and link you, that line of succession, have that birthright to be on there. For some who are a little older, all you need is yourself, your parent, and your grandmother. So, for example, my mother would only need her mother, Polly, her grandmother, Edna. That's where she would stop. So the rest of you, think that through. Call if you're not sure of this. Your local genealogical societies have that. The local libraries have archivists, and probably for a fee, they will help you with this. If you go to the library or colleges or universities and use your ID, those are free portals, so you can access Ancestry. You can access some of those sites for free without paying those monthly charges. Maybe you and some family members, one person gets the account and pays the fee. you all share, or however that works. You and your line, think about that, how you all want to go if you don't already have the roll numbers information. But once again, your local genealogical society, Muskogee, there's Three Rivers Museum. There's the Muskogee Genealogical Society. Go to Google and find that. They have Zoom meetings monthly. Local, that's where I was this evening, downtown, the depot in Muskogee. Part of that was sponsored by the Three Rivers and the Muskogee Genealogical Society, with the train and the reindeer petting. There were two of them, Rosie and Grace. They were so cute. And I took a selfie. Okay, I'm moving on. Okay, just reminding you, living or deceased, if your parent is alive or anybody you're needing a birth certificate for, yes, they will need to complete a release of information, them authorizing that vital records to give you that copy. They will sign it and date it and provide a copy of their ID on there. And I wish oh yeah, I've got it right here. I'm going to show you. This is what we did. I tell you, we just boosted stuff and they accepted that. So I'm telling you this, no pressure in this. You see what I did? I'm going to do it real quick because I don't want anybody to do a snapshot and take my passport and go over to Jamaica without me and stuff. But that's all it is. I just put these on a printer and printed all of that on one page, and you can do the same. If the person is deceased, you just need a death certificate. You will not also need a birth certificate. So let's say my grandmother is deceased. I did not need both my grandmother's birth certificate and the death certificate. The death certificate has the official date of birth, has the social security number, it has the mother, it has the father, and it has the death. So you just need that one. Each state does differently. Call, have access to it just in case anybody needs a copy of Polly's birth certificate. We have that. We don't need it, but if you need a copy, I can email that out to you. Just if you just want to have it in your photo album for your own personal genealogy, we have that. Once again, if you are sharing information out there, only use the last four of the social for HIPAA and privacy, personal identifiable information, privacy. Use the last four of the social if you are sharing this, so no one else and Jason Bourne can't get your great-grandmother's social and go and make a passport and go back over to Germany to do his espionage or whatever Jason Bourne needs to do. So here's a sample of what we typed here. To whom it may concern, I, mother, authorize Oklahoma Vital Records to release my birth certificate to my child, Monica. She printed her name, she signed it. We put on there a copy of her social security card and a copy of her driver's license. And they accepted that and they mailed me my mother's birth certificate. When I took her information, she had that available and had copies of that. Order requests, I have that link here, but go to any search engine, Google, and type birth certificates for Oklahoma, birth certificates for Virginia, Pennsylvania, DC, wherever you were born, whatever state that is. I was born in Texas, so I had to go through Texas to get that. As I stated before, due to COVID, some states do not accept walk-ins. Find that out first. And know that, anticipate there's going to be anywhere from $12 to $20 to order that. You and your family discuss that. There may be 5 of you, brothers and sisters. Chip in, perhaps. Think of the buddy system. If at this one time everybody doesn't need originals, maybe one person is going to start the process and see how that person gets. So each of you pay $10 each of that person to get birth certificate, the death certificate of mother or father, death certificate of grandmother, and because they're the ones that are going to do this. Get that. They'll have the originals. When they get their forms back, boom, send it to sister number 2. Sister number 2, you go to Omagi, they scan your stuff, give brother stuff back. You got brother stuff, give it to brother number 2. Brother number 2 takes brother number 1's originals, because you're just swapping this out. They just need the original. They don't need to know or don't ask that it was one original shared by people on that. So think about that. One person do it right now. Go through the process, and you, designated person, tell everyone else in your family this process and walk them through it. For example, I'll give this to you. I went with a cousin who went with his wife and two of the children and a grandbaby. So stood in line for cousin. They took his paperwork. I had the birth certificates and the death certificates that they needed. So I'm standing next to them. I slide over to them the death certificate. They did. Cousin number one. Thank you. Alexa's telling me that it's time for bed and I need to wrap up anyway. And then they finished. Thank you, cousin number one. Cousin got out of the line. I stayed kind of at the window. Here comes child number one. Same thing. They gave their application. I'm sliding over that death certificate. That child used that packet. They scanned it, gave it back to the child. Child number one got out of line. Child number two got in line. Mind you, it's still my same original. They didn't say, you can't do that. And they got cameras all over, no video recording, which I didn't know. I'm trying to take selfies, just so happy for this entire process. So one person had it, but it's been shared so far with probably 5, 6, 7 family members. So that's what I'm saying. Think about that in your family, or your line. One person doing that as a buddy system, and you all share that. Make copies of your records. Once again, make copies. Slow down. Order your birth certificate, your parents' birth certificate if they're alive, or the death certificate and release of information if that person is living. Once again, information about the death certificate. You got a death certificate? No, you don't need the birth certificate as well. There has a bullet here. Yes, if you are mailing your packet, they will mail your originals back. If you're taking it for cousin, a big mama, or Aunt Ruth, you taking it old Muggy for Aunt Ruth's behalf, they'll give Aunt Ruth's originals back. You get those back to Aunt Ruth for doing that for her, and she'll greatly appreciate that. There are a couple of questions here. I've got all my original documents. I can't travel, and I just don't want a clerk over there misplacing, and I never get my originals back. That answer. If a relative is in that state and agreed, and you all talk about it, they want to go for you, get that one form notarized. Send that with that person. Copy of your driver's license, copy of your social security card, copy of that passport photo or that CVS passport photo that you're going to send. That person going for you, they'll scan those originals, give those originals back. That person will bring your records back. You're not going to lose your original records. Once again, slow down. This isn't a race. Hit pause. Do what you need to do. Read over it, double check, spell check when you're ordering those online or taking your paperwork. It's the carelessness sometimes that we do that causes denials or rejections or corrections, which may incur additional costs or extra weeks because these things are having to be corrected. I had a supervisor in Fort Worth 10, 15 years ago, and she said, if you don't have time to do it right the first time, when are you going to have the time to do it over? So slow down and do it right. And just here, checklist once again. Another question here. I waited to sign the forms because I went in person. There's a notary there. That person notarized mine. If you're mailing yours, once again, or somebody's taking it for you, that one form, yes, it will need to be notarized. So there it is. It will take to a notary, give it to that person who is taking the packet for you. Some of these may be redundant or additions. I didn't delete some of the slides. But once again, it just has a checklist on slide 30. It tells you the fee anywhere from $2 to $4 at UPS, the post office, CVS, or Walgreens, where you get your passport photo if you do not have the actual US State Department.gov passport. That is acceptable. And you've done it. Boom. You are done. Once again, copy your records before you send them. At the end of this, I've got some thank yous and things I've been finding out from a couple of church members who they are Cherokee Freedmen, different food banks that they go to. And she was saying, well, you know, Cherokee Nation, there are pharmacies. And I see Creek, I believe she's Creek already. And she said there are Creek pharmacies, there are Creek grocery stores. So I just listed a few cities and counties here for Muskogee Nation where they have community centers, where they have a food distribution, nutrition. I provided here on slides maybe 37 to 40, the mailing address, the physical address, the phone number. You can find out when they have meetings. It has an email if you want to email them to ask questions and information. So it's there. For Muskogee, I've got Coweta, who has the grocery store. There are Creek pharmacies, there are hospitals, clinics that we will have access to. I've listed here Shakota, Eufaula, Indian Community Center, and that's it. Once again, all of this was free. I just love our family heritage and genealogy. I got that bug. I don't know who's bit me with it, but I do thank you for that. I love calling myself a self-identified her storyography because the women in my family were and are awesome. All of this is free, but this was hosted and we had this opportunity available by my church, Peter's Chapel AME Church in Muskogee. If you want to mail just a love gift for on Giving Tuesday or end of the year contribution, you think about us, send in a love offering. We thank you because we're going Christmas caroling to nursing homes next Saturday the 16th. We were going to the BeHeardMovement.com in Tulsa. They have showers, haircuts, barbers, washers and dryers for the homeless to come get a clean shower. There are churches there providing food. They can get a hot meal. They can get a haircut, wash the clothes, get some new ones. We hung up clothes, and as soon as I was hanging up my plus size clothes, plus size women will come in and pull them off the rack. They have about 6 huge trailers. You walk in, they've got the barbers and the laundry. It is phenomenal. So please go to, it's one word, BeHeardMovement.com. And there are slots for volunteers. We'll be going in the spring once they put their January, February, and March thing up. Thank you all who have been going to my gift list and registry on Ancestry. Going to Monica Bailey or Acts 2 and 45, our gift submission. I have a wish list, travel size toothpaste, underwear, sanitary napkins, deodorant, mouthwash, toothbrushes, travel size, just little shampoo wipes for them. Just put in a backpack. We put these things in a little quart-size Ziploc bag, and we provide that when we go. And that's what we're stocking up now. I have probably 100 things on that wish list. Maybe in your family for Christmas, that is something as one family unit, you all want to do that. There are things as cheap as some of the lotions, $5 or $6. And there are some things that might be 20 if you want to get a bulk of 200 individual bars of soap for $59. So there's a price range. If you do that, we thank you. And I'll send pictures when we go to the Be Heard movement and do that. The address for Peter's Chapel to mail that, 7902 Fern Mountain Road. That is 3 miles east of the castle of Muskogee, where we proclaim the true king of the castle, Jesus the Christ. Muskogee, Oklahoma, 74401. You may email me and give me feedback or some things that were good or things I need to condense. There's my email, bailey3mtb@gmail.com. Monyeka, MONY3CA@yahoo.com. Or on Facebook, do a shout out or like our page, Peter's Chapel AME on Facebook. I'm on Facebook, or the Cash App. You want to just drop $5 or $10, I will take that next week to our benevolence fund. We go to hospitals or nursing homes, or bereavement gifts and wreaths and cards, the things that we do for the sick and shut in, taking communion. It will be used there, and I thank you, and it will advance the kingdom of God. Cash App is Rev3, just the number 3, Rev, REV 3, BUCK, Rev 3 Buck is my Cash App account. And that's it. Thank you all. I appreciate you being a part of this. Save this. Once again, I'm going to do this again because I forgot to do the live recording to upload on YouTube. I will email this when Zoom sends me the recording tomorrow. Save this, use it, share it with friends or cousins, somebody that you know is seeking more information about Muskogee citizenship. Give this to them. It's free. I have no problem with that. Just go through it, please, just to make sure. I think I removed any identifiers, but if there's anything for privacy, just take that off. And thank you for letting me. It's 8:30 at night. I just got home at 7 o'clock. I haven't had dinner yet. Praise the Lord. I may not get dinner. And I was tired. I had taken my teeth out. So please forgive me. I take my partial out so I could do this without lisping. And when I do that, trying to lisp then I forget everything and I forget what I'm saying. But I wanted to get this done. Love you all. Thank you. God's grace and peace be upon each and every one of you. I love you. Merry Christmas to each of you. If you want to stay on while I sing a song, you may. If not, toodles. But I'm going to do a quick song on here since it is Christmas time. Let's see. And we did Christmas songs this morning at church. Hang on here. Let me find my hymnal. But you can buy, if anybody else wants to stay on and listen to my song, it'll be here. Hang on. Let me get my hymn book. I'm right here. Hold on. I'm coming right back. I don't do this very often, and I know this isn't very professional, but we will get better as we learn and as we grow. So thank you. Charted to my head and not my heart. But we'll just do one song here. We'll do one Christmas carol that we're going to do next week. We've got bells. We've got candy canes. We're passing out socks, hats, gloves to the elderly in the nursing home. We've got a booklet full of Christmas songs. And they reminded me in official board today, said, the last meeting, I thought we said just 3 or 4 songs. I said, oh, this booklet has 3 or 4 pages of songs. We will do and stay as long as the nursing home Brentwood on 38th Street here in Musco will allow. Anybody else is watching this, come share with us. We've got over 100 baggies to pass out to people, the candy canes. Bring some more candy canes. Participate for your church. Be a part of things that are going on in our community. Upload that. And we want to be the church visible, and we want to be the church militant in these last and evil days. Be a witness and be a light. You may be the only light some people will even see. So I thank you for that. Then afterwards, it's going to be at 12 o'clock next Saturday the 16th. 12 o'clock, maybe about an hour. Their lunch is 11. I called the director of nursing. Supervisor said 12 is good. They've eaten. They've been changed. And those who will probably be in that dining area, we will sing. And then if they allow us to go room to room, whatever the nursing home will allow us to do, we'll do that. So bring some more socks or candy canes. Go to the Dollar Tree and get 12 pair of gloves, 12 pair of socks. And there you go for your church. Represent your church. Afterwards, we're going to the Golden Corral and we'll just have a fellowship. Like our Friendsgiving in November, we'll do a Friends Christmassy or whatever you call it. So I'm going to do hymn 121. You can sign off if you want. But I'm just going to sing this song here because it's just one of my favorites for the holiday season. And the AME hymnal is page 121. You can go to Google and type that in and get the words if you want to sing along. Oh, Holy Night. And save this. Maybe you have a loved one or someone sick and shut in. Put your phone up to their ear, lay it on the pillow, and let them just hear this song. Read songs, read scriptures, record that. Put the phone on their pillow if they're unconscious or in a hospice state. The last thing to go is hearing. Do that for your loved one so that they can hear. Yes, my shirt says, may your light shine for Jesus. You know, like mayonnaise. May your light shine. Praise the Lord. Oh, holy night, the stars are brightly shining. It is the night of our dear Savior's birth. Long lay the world in sin and error pining till he appeared and the soul felt its worth. A thrill of hope. The weary world rejoices, for yonder breaks a new and glorious morn. Fall on your knees. Oh, hear the angels' voices. Oh, night, I'm not Joycelyn, divine. Oh, night, when Christ was born. Oh, night, divine. Oh, night. Bye, everybody. Love you. Toodles. Bye, everybody. Bye. Love you.